Okay, we're back. Hello again.
Hello again. I've got
Oh,
some
how
company
is
now.
that?
Hello.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, that's Romeo.
Oh, hello, Romeo. It's always interesting to see how animals respond to Huna, so that will be interesting.
We might get his sister in the room in a minute as well.
So what we are going to do is we're going to do, actually, I wonder if I can do that. Let me just see if I can also do a bit of jiggery pokery and have a play with this as well. I just want to, this platform is really new. This is version 2.
Mm-hmm.
Which launched 2 weeks ago. So this is the first time I've done a session using version 2. So I'm determined to just press every button
Mm-hmm.
and see everything.
Go for it, yeah.
But so far, so good. It's been pretty stable. I've really, it's worked well so far. And so I'm really pleased with that. So what I might do, if I can very quickly pull it up, let's see, if I can pull up a very quick Huna presentation, I can even show you a few things. So Huna,
I've been on your Huna last year. You did an online.
that is correct. You were, yes.
Yes. And it was incredible.
Oh, good. Good, good, good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little play and I'm going to do share screen, application window. And what also is
Mm-hmm.
that my screen should also appear. And if people wanted to enlarge this, what you can do, I believe you can double click on that on the Huna screen. And then I think it kind of gets bigger as well.
Yes, it
So
is. Yeah.
so
Cool.
which is a nice, really cool functionality. So for people who don't know what Huna is, this is kind of a little summary of some of the things we did on the video webinar workshop. So we looked at the Huna lineage, we looked at the assumptions of Huna magic, we looked at higher self therapy, we looked at the elementals, we looked at the symbols. The symbols are the bit we're going to do here today. We looked at some of the correspondences with other similar practices, and also one of my favorite things, the waking meditation. And I was also telling people about a couple of the things that were crazy for me when I first realized the power of Huna, that you could use it remotely, which was just mind blowing. And sending it over to a client who was suicidal and drunk, so I had no idea what I was doing. But the next day sent me an email saying, oh my God, around about 3 o'clock this morning, I just felt calm, I felt peaceful. And she just reeled off this list, and those were the exact symbols that I had used. And so it's been really, really mind blowing from me. It works with the premise of the higher self. And this is too long to go into, but there were some crazy synchronicities before I ran the first ever Huna workshop as an in-person event a few years before I ran the one-day video webinar. And to say that the synchronicities were coming thick and fast would be an understatement. So in terms of what Huna is, one of the things I love about Huna, one of the principles is think not that all wisdom is in your school. I think Huna is the best thing since sliced bread. And there's a million and one other things out there, many of which will appeal to you. It's not always this. So it's definitely about getting a sense of perspective about what you do. And as you said, Chris, we ran as an online video webinar as well. That's when I was testing out the new video webinar platform. Because I was thinking the world is moving online. I think that's the direction we're going to be moving. And with what's happened with the coronavirus, that's exactly what's happened now. So it's been cool. And these are some of the things that people have said about the workshop and taking part. Yeah, it's been amazing, absolutely amazing. So I love Huna. It's one of my favorites. It's one of those things that also blows people away in the most interesting of circumstances. And people that I really know and respect and have followed their work, they've even said, wow, what you're doing is amazing. So it's a fantastic modality. I absolutely love it. And what we're going to do is a quick Huna energy session to round off today, or start your day, depending on what time zone you're in. So I just want you to have a think about, do you want to shake things up? Do you want to calm things down? Do you want more openness? Do you want more clarity? Because this is a really confusing time. Do you need more fire? Do you need more motivation? Or do you want more grounding because you're kind of getting carried away? with what's going on in the world. So for those of you who are watching from the chat room, you can type into the chat. Chris, if there's something you wanted to say in public, you can do. If not, I'm just going to go with what we just talked about in the speed networking room. So I'll leave that up to you.
Okay, well, definitely that, and some more openness and clarity. Yeah.
Okay, my favorite symbol. Actually, I wonder if I've got, I might show you the symbol while I've got my, right, let me have a quick look, see, because I think there, oh, actually, here it is, this will do. So you see this one bottom right, so I don't know if you can see my cursor moving on it.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite symbols for opening things up and getting clarity. So we're definitely going to put that one into the mix. It's absolutely one of my favorites. And actually this one here, which is the one with almost like it's almost like the triangle shape and with the three dots, that will be a really fantastic one for shaking up the energy and clearing. So let's just say somebody was thinking about it from an asthmatic point of view, let's put it that way. That's a really good symbol for just hitting the system and clearing out everything that's going on. So we'll do that one for sure as well. Fabulous. Oh, here we go. Here's a bigger version of it. So that's the one we're going to be using to just open things up. And the literal translation of this one is to open the mouth and to reveal secrets. So it really does open things up. And often when I'm doing a client session, like a telephone or Skype session, or even in person, I'll ask the client a question. They'll go, I don't know, or will be wanting to resolve something and they're stuck. And so while they're sitting there, I'm just like, and I can do that silently or do it with the symbols. And then like 2 seconds later, they go, oh, actually, and then it all just comes rolling out. And I just giggle to myself. I'm like, oh, brilliant. Glad you came up with something. So that's a really, really good one. And this is one of my favorites, the literal translation. Thunder comes down from the heavens and strikes the earth and makes the earth shake. That's deep. And that one, if people are very sensitive to energy, they will often feel it like a pushback, you know, like, so we'll do that one as well. Hey, Lydia, is there anything you wanted to put into the mix? Lovely to see you.
I'm so happy to be here. I couldn't find you. I was looking.
Well, you made it. Is there anything you would like to put into the Huna mix?
I think maybe we could hope that everything will just get better, and that all the viruses will just become benign and benevolent and actually help people. Maybe transport good things instead of being mean. Or, you know, I think they lack love, and also I think they should. And the people that are maybe creating these viruses, if they probably are, you know, but anyway, that they should have some, maybe also improve what they're doing. That's what I would say, you know, and send them also unconditional love so they could feel that they can do something better than having to resort to being a little bit not right. Well, a little bit, maybe they think they're going to, in the end, it'll be something positive, but I don't know, you know.
Okay, fantastic. And for me, I am, as you'll probably know, I am the silver linings girl. And I've already started to see the ways that I'm seeing that, you know, positive is not the right word at the moment, because this is kind of, you know, serious stuff in terms of what's happening to people and the consequences of that. And for example, I am now seeing a lot more connection and a lot more community. Because it's almost, I wasn't old enough, thankfully, touch wood, to have been around in the days of the war. But one of the things that depicts those times is the community and the solidarity and people coming together to help each other. And that's one of the things I've noticed happening as a result of this. And so for me, I would put that into the bracket of the silver linings. It's like Mother Nature has given us a little bit of a kick up the behind and says, come on now, we need to be in this together. So it's been interesting. So what we're going to do is a round of Huna. And for those of you who are watching as well, if you follow me for a while, you know that you can listen to a Huna recording 5 years later and still feel the benefits of that. I'm also going to take my rings off because I'll probably be waving my hands around a little, because I'm going to do what I call the bells and whistles version. The silent version is just while I'm talking to a client in a session, I'm just doing the Huna symbols, and they're just like, oh, they have no idea what's going on, or sometimes they do. But we're going to do the noisy version today, and the Huna symbols are delivered on the breath. So I draw the symbol on the breath and you deliver it on the breath. So for example, also, I'm going to guessing that people are here because they want to receive the energy. If you happen to, by some weird fluke, be here by accident and you don't want to receive it, you just set the intention, it just passes you by. But if you're open to receiving it, you give yourself permission. If you're someone who works with your higher self, you can ask your higher self to also come into play. And one of the things of my clients is that they receive the energy for their greatest and highest good, and in a way that is right and healthy and ecological for them. So my job is to be a transmuter of it. You receive it in the way that's right for you.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Could you mute me, please?
Oh, I can. Let me just see if I can do that. You might be. Oh, I think I have. Come on.
Trying to switch everything off here.
I've done it. It's done. You're muted. So, and I think, I'm sure you can hear me still, hope you can. There is a button on you. When you hover over your screen, there's actually a button. It's like a toggle key. So you can click it on and off. And actually, I'm really pleased. That was one of my feature requests, because I was like, guys, as the speaker, I need to be able to moderate people, because in version 1, you actually couldn't mute anyone. They had to do it themselves. And if they don't know the noise is coming from them, it was crazy. So they've put my feature in. Anyway, focus, Marilyn. Hocus pocus focus. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to start with, I'm just going to give you an example of the kind of way it looks and the way it sounds. And you can do it eyes open or eyes closed, entirely up to you. So you draw it on the breath, you deliver it on the breath. So. Cheers. Okay. So, just a quick round of Huna just to ease things, send you on your way into your day or into your evening. And also, with your permission, one of the things that, you know, I often do with my clients is I'm asking that the Huna guys, they're called the Avaiku, if it's appropriate for that person and if they're open to it, you know, you can ask the Avaiku to go out and work with that particular person. So let's just say when I'm doing a breakthrough session with someone, in between sessions, I will ask the Huna guys to go out to that person. Just, you know, if they need any help, any assistance, just bringing the extra energy boost to them. And then I just say to the Avaiku, come back when you're finished, or if I need you for something else and I'm going to send you on another assignment. And so one of the things you can do is you can be asking the Avaiku just to give you any help and assistance and guidance. And that's the point where clients will often say, did you do something on Thursday? And I'm like, why? And then they'll go, I felt it, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And that's exactly at the time I was having a chat with the Avaiku and saying, actually, this person's on my mind. I don't know why. Can you just go over and just see if it's anything's okay? And they will go up, speak to that person's higher self. Hey, do you want some help and assistance? Can we do anything with you? They'll go over and do what they need to do. And then they come back or go wherever it is they go when they're chilling out. So any questions, any queries from any of you before we bring today's session to a close? Oh, and I can unmute you.
I didn't understand. When do you have to breathe in and out? And how do you do all those special symbols? That's really remarkable what you do. You're very good. What? When do we have to breathe? Because you said, yes.
I studied Huna out in Hawaii.
Yes, but when
and that's
you do
where
the
they kind of teach you the symbols.
Yes, but when you do the symbols, you're moving your hands, but I see the eyes are closed. But are we supposed to watch you moving your hands so we breathe in and out as you're doing symbols?
No, but, you know, oftentimes when I first started I was doing teleseminars, so I was on the phone, or I was at my desk, I was recording it, and then people were listening to the recording. So I would say to my clients, eyes open, eyes closed. And quite frankly, when I'm working with my clients, they're all doing whatever it is they're doing. Now, if I know their time zone, I will sometimes do it when I kind of suspect they're asleep. But actually, it really doesn't matter. You could be going about your day, and what we're asking, that thing where it's right and appropriate, don't barge into someone's day. But the way I think of it is you put it in escrow until it's a good time to drop it in and download it. But when with the hands, what I'm doing is drawing the symbols, and then you deliver the symbols to the recipient or recipients in this case.
That's very interesting. I've never seen that before. Well, I've seen it before, but I never really, not completely. Yes, it's very interesting. And how does that? Yes. Oh, yes. It's. I don't think many people. I had a problem. I just wanted to mention when I got here. I looked. I didn't see when I go into sessions. I didn't realize I have to scroll down. So I was looking at the top of the screen. I don't see anything, and I'm not using my computer. Last time I tried this event, I used my computer, and I was having very bad reception that day with my internet. But yesterday, my internet was very bad, and this morning I didn't have any. Just before this, I didn't have any, so I turned off my router. I turned it back on, and now it's amazingly good. So I don't know what happened.
Fantastic. Well done. Well, I'm glad you could make it.
Yes, I'm glad, but I just wanted to mention, maybe people are having, because I don't see many people, I think they're having trouble finding you, because I think I was going to send messages out to friends, but I said, by the time I send messages out, I'll miss things. So I didn't realize, I have some friends I want to see this. I saw there were still free places. I said, I have some people, but I have some people that, because if you want somebody, I have a herbalist, a friend that I met at this metaphysical and spiritual show here in Montreal. She lives in California, and she went to China to study herbalism, and she has all these herbal remedies for the coronavirus. And also there's an inexpensive one on the Children's Defense Network or organization by Robert Kennedy, John F. Kennedy's nephew. No, yes, he's the son of Robert. He's a lawyer, and he's investigating pharmaceutical industry, vaccines. He does very scientific investigations. And he said, actually, on his website, there's I saw it on Facebook, and I'm a member. It used to be a free subscription, but now it's $10 to be a member. It doesn't cost anything almost, $10 American. And but you could read most of the articles for free anyway. But on Facebook, he has an article, and it says how they do have a medication that people could take, and it's maybe $5. But for some reason, it used to be non-prescription, now they've made it prescription, and they don't recommend that people take it. And it's been shown to work for malaria and other things, but the governments are kind of hiding it. And even in France, anyway, that's how actually China used that. They said that one of the reasons they got better quickly is because they actually used that medicine. Not only the quarantine. The quarantine is maybe not the best idea. Even the specialist, the biggest specialist in France, one of the biggest, he's one of the top 5 specialists in medicine, a doctor. He recommended to use that medicine, which is inexpensive, and the quarantine is not, it has some, anyway, that I don't know, but according to him, it might not be, I'm not arguing with it, but whatever, it doesn't seem maybe that necessary, but they're exact. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, we will see. We're in early stage.
But I could send you the links. I'll send you the links to those.
And also,
so you could see.
The way I've planned it to. I think this session is recorded. We'll see. But because in the first version, it didn't always do what you were telling it to do. But this is version 2, so we'll see. So it might be recorded.
Marilyn, just a quick feedback for you.
Yeah.
So I know you probably were working on a mile-long area.
Yeah.
And I did feel a change of temperature from cold to warm.
Ooh.
And I actually got to a point where I felt like I wanted to open my mouth to breathe. So that's what I've physically experienced. And I'm looking forward to the next few days to see what's shifting in terms of clarity and, direction.
So that is fantastic. And when I did the Greg, there's a thing called the TCCHE, the Conference for Consciousness and Human Evolution. So I was the MC for that. I've been for the last 3 years, and I should be back, if it's fingers crossed, running in August this year. The first time I was there, Grenfell Towers had happened a few weeks prior. And I was just about to go on stage, and the person who organizes the conference, he tapped me and he said, "Oh, could you do a quick meditation or something? Because the people from Grenfell Towers are downstairs." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I just decided I'd just get on stage. Nobody knew me at this point. They have no idea what I'm doing. So I explained about they're downstairs. I said, "We're just going to do a healing session, and I'm going to do something called Huna." That was all I said. Then I start with the symbols, etc. And there were people in the audience, people coming up to me for the next 4 days. "Oh my God, oh my God." And there was a guy who was like, when you started waving your hands around, I was thinking, what the hell is she doing? But he'd had, I think it was a headache or something like that. He says, "Marilyn, the headache just disappeared." Somebody else came up and says, "Oh, I was so tired and so confused. I was actually thinking of going home early. I just had massive amounts of clarity." There was someone else who then described to me, and what I started noticing as people were describing what happened, they say, "Oh my God, well, I felt this heat, and then I always felt like I was under a waterfall, and then I felt this thing spinning around me," and I realized they were describing the exact order and sequence. Like when I used the fire symbol, they were feeling the heat. When I used a water symbol, they were feeling like they're in a waterfall. When I used the cloak of light, for example, they felt it around them, yet they had no idea what I was doing. And then I was getting emails after the event for several weeks from people going, "Oh, well, actually, this has happened, and it's seriously." And so I've done a little Huna segment each year at that event, and I've had exactly the same response every single time. It's just, and this is like 550 people, and they all get what they needed. There's one woman who's having hot flushes, and there were 2 of them, one like sweating buckets. One of them went out the room when I was doing the Huna. One of them stayed. The one who stayed, she said, "Marilyn, by the time you'd done, I only did 3 minutes." She said, "By the time you finished, my hot flushes were gone," because her and the woman were sat there with their fans and all sorts. She says, "I've been absolutely fine." She said, "The woman who went out the room, she came back and sat down. She sat there sweating and dabbing herself. And for the rest of the conference, the woman who stayed for the Huna session, completely fine, no hot flushes." That's how bonkers it was. And I don't drink. And I'm not keen on the drinking reference, but I always say, look, for me, Huna is like the Heineken of energy work. It goes to where it needs to go and reaches the places that sometimes other things don't reach. It is just crazy. And my logo forever has been, well, for the last 20 years, has been the water drop. And I always just say to my clients, notice what you notice with regards to the ripple effect. So, Chris, notice what you notice.
I shall let you know. I'll be in touch by email.
Fab. No, it's you know, I'm always, oh, here we go. So that's been my logo for the last 20 years, the water drop, because my thing was always, when I work with someone, it's going to be like a catalyst, and we're going to do the work that they've come to do, but actually we're always going to do a lot more than that, and then the changes of that will continue to ripple throughout people's lives. And I've had people come back to me after 10 years and say, Marilyn, that one-day breakthrough session, the benefits of that are still rippling throughout my entire life. And that is just the coolest thing ever. So definitely notice what you notice.
I will, and thank you again so much. Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Lydia. It's lovely to see you and speak to you in person.
I was so happy, yes, because I've been wanting to see you I was wanting to speak to you for a while and see you. So I'm very happy. I think I admired you so much, you know, all the, you do so many amazing things. I just wanted to ask, is the other lady, Chris, does she have the virus? Does she have the coronavirus? Do you have the virus, Chris?
I have an infection, yes. I believe it is the virus, because I've been reading up about all the symptoms, and I was telling Marilyn earlier, on Thursday I struggled breathing. I had a very unusual shortness of breath after having a cough on and off, and a bit of a raised body temperature, not a fever, but it was 37.6 in Celsius. But you don't have to have a fever apparently, and you can have mild symptoms of it. So there's people that get a lot of mild symptoms, which is almost unrecognized, and it made me not be able to go anywhere for a whole day. And I ended up calling the coronavirus NHS hotline, actually, just to confirm things. But because they're so overwhelmed, they're not going to send me anywhere. Also because the symptoms aren't severe enough to take action. So people being told to sit at home and to just kind of sit it out, sort of thing. But yes.
Because I read a newsletter from Natural News. Anyway, he said that the wormwood, or sweet wormwood, if you have access to herbal medicine, wormwood. I'm going to check. I'll send the links.
Thank you.
Wonderful,
oh, she's gone.
wonderful.
She's gone. We lost her.
Oh, no problem. And the event is coming to a close because we've just gone over the 6 p.m. mark. So it gives you a little bit of grace, and then it's like, right, bye, get out, you all. Oh, but that is brilliant. Thank you so much for joining me and having a play and you know, taking a plunge.
Thank you. It's been brilliant, and thank you for the session. And I'll email you, and if you're interested, I'll also send you the link to that video that I mentioned earlier about the conspiracy theories. It's very interesting, actually, because he's a guy who's been writing books for 30 years. So have a listen and maybe let me know your thoughts on it, you know.
I will do. Fantastic. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep doing your things to maintain your body, which is your natural lifestyle anyway. And I wish you a full and speedy recovery.
Thank you so much, Marilyn. Good to reconnect with you, and keep well.
Thank you. Bye. There we go. Oh, that was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. And let's do that. A little bit of feedback back.
Yes, absolutely.